In every creative writing class, students are taught to show, not tell. The point of this is to encourage writers to allow the audience to experience the story rather than directly feeding them the information. The same approach can be effective in publication design and advertising. My name is Elle Wilden, and I've been researching the concept of visual storytelling and marketing. During this presentation, I will discuss how personas in the hero's journey play a role in visual storytelling, as well as how this method is effective in capturing the consumer's attention. First, I will touch on the basics of visual storytelling. Jess Sherman, who is a content specialist at Collegiate Education, defines visual storytelling as the use of graphics, images, pictures, and videos as a method of engaging with the viewers in an effort to drive their emotions. Basically, visual storytelling is used to represent information in the most powerful way possible. Alan Lupton, who wrote Design is Storytelling, illustrates how every brand is actually telling a story about their own business or product. Essentially, the goal is to kind of get the audience to buy the story rather than the actual product. Here are some examples of visual storytelling. The first is from the hashtag Like a Girl campaign by Always, which depicts a girl who is kicking down the message, "Can't be brave." It's part of their whole message of how women and girls should not be influenced by society's expectations. So you can see how it kind of ties in with that. And it's a very clever tactic because Always is specifically targeting a women's audience. And so they're selling the idea of women empowerment in addition to the actual product. Along the same lines, the second advertisement is for Legos. It's part of their Let's Build advertisement, and it depicts a father and a son who are building a tower of Legos together. They're kind of introducing the method of a bonding technique for families throughout the use of their own product. So they're selling the idea of a perfect home life in addition to their product, which is Legos. The second aspect of visual storytelling that I will address is persona. Lupton defines persona as the use of an archetypal user of a product or service. It's used to imagine how people with different abilities and backgrounds can experience said product, and they're based on observing real people. They appear in scenarios, which are short stories built on achieving a specific goal. A lot of times, the use of persona is just for the marketer's It's just for the marketer to determine the specific audience, the target audience, but it can also be used in the design itself, as shown by Spotify. These advertisements appear in their It's Been Weird campaign from 2016, and in each of these advertisements, they're calling out specific users. So in each of them, there's a different persona that appears in a different scenario. So for example, one of them reads, "Dear person in LA who listened to the Forever Alone playlist for 4 hours on Valentine's Day. You okay?" So they're kind of funny, and it's a really interesting tactic because it allows the audience to perhaps identify with one of the personas, as well as it's pretty just entertaining in general. The third aspect is the hero's journey, which is a concept created by Joseph Campbell as a template for storytelling. To kind of boil it down, it's just where a hero crosses a threshold into the unknown, and then they embark on a road of trials, usually with the help of a mentor, and then they return to the original world as a changed person. And again, this is usually just used as a template for storytelling and telling tales, but it can also be applied to marketing. John Locke illustrates, he is a search engine optimization consultant, and he illustrates that a lot of times in the hero's journey as applied to marketing, the consumer is the hero, whereas the product is the mentor. He notes that although the product can be the hero, it's kind of frowned upon because it makes the advertisement about the product instead of the audience. Locke notes that weaving the stories of the audience and the product together makes them more apt to actually buy it. Craig Beadle, who is a writer for Velocity Partners, addresses the hero's journey in marketing and creates an alternative that's just like basically a simplified version that only contains 8 steps, which are you, need, go, search, find, take, return, and change. So as applied to a marketing scenario, you would be the consumer, and there's something missing from their life, they need something, so they go in search of it, and then they find the specific product, they take it, and then they return to their everyday life as a changed person as a result of the improvement that the product has brought upon their life. So here are some examples of of the hero's journey in visual storytelling. So the first is a campaign from Weight Watchers as part of their Awaken Your Incredible campaign. And it's basically telling the story of this woman who she's experiencing a change in her life because of the use of her Weight Watchers products, is that she became an improved version of herself. So it is an example of using the consumer as the hero and the product as the mentor, and it also ties into the underlying reason why people diet, which is to become the best version of themselves. So through this advertisement, Weight Watchers is kind of contributing to making their product less about, or their brand less about the product and more about the feeling, which is the feeling of the incredible feeling you get from self-improvement. The second advertisement is from Google, and it depicts a man who has tracked down an old friend that he lost touch with, and then they arrange a reunion, and this is because of his use of Google. This also depicts the consumer, the man, as the hero, and the product, Google, as the mentor. It also taps into the emotional appeal. All of these examples illustrate how the hero's journey, personas, and visual storytelling all contribute to the consumer's willingness to purchase the product. Ultimately, visual storytelling is the way to go, and as overused as the saying is, it really is true that a picture is worth 1,000 words.